Okay, Ikechukwu, his Executive Director, Development Specs Academy. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight. Good to see you. So, your reading of the political landscape as it is now, based on the current, recent developments in the space. First off, you have a ruling party that's bent on holding on to power and would almost do anything to strengthen its position. Then you have opposition parties, the PDP, ADC, and others, reeling from internal crisis, litigation after litigation. And then you have the Supreme Court, we're hoping would rule on, within the week. April 22, that will be on Wednesday. So, your assessment on the current developments against this backdrop.
Is there really anything to assess? The picture is fairly clear. APC is determined not only to remain dominant, but to swallow up all the others. Nearly all the governors are now members of APC. They fixed dates.
As at the last count.
As at the last count.
31
or
31. Yeah, with one, every time
we're not sure where
we're not
he
too
is
sure
yet.
exactly where he's going yet.
He's still negotiating something that will make him happy before he moves. So, and the APC has also brought out his timetable and every other thing. This is the day there will be primaries. And of course, you hear from the reflexes generally, there will be only one candidate. That day, somebody or one or
only one candidate. In
for the PDP presidential ticket, no question about that.
Right.
They might even, try to create the illusion of competition by propping up one or two individuals who will either then step down or pretend to contest and rule and fail woefully. And that would be proof that, their candidate is universally endorsed, etc. So it's a drama they are staging. If you also look at the piling up of governors into the party, is indicative of the fact that even if there is an opposition, that opposition can make speeches, complain and grumble, but it has no chance whatsoever of winning the presidency for a simple reason.
Which is,
where are you going to operate from? I'm a state governor, I've decamped to another party, and I have the resources and federal muscle to secure what I want. That's where you come and win. It's not going to happen. So, but it's good that I had the statement of the PDP that, look, they are not giving up. It's important that that is done. It's important that those reflexes are maintained. It will also indicate that, yes, you may have taken all our big boys. You may even win the next election, but we remain here. We don't like what you stand for.
And they're even saying the door is open for them to come back. They will get
that's the other
group. Okay. Well,
yes.
I mean, when we talk about PDP, which PDP
which one?
Are we really talking about?
And there's a master stroke that the APC has done.
Right.
The job that Wike did for the APC in the last presidential election. Now the party now has two factions. And he's heading one that's dominant. It's fairly obvious what the result will be. You chase me out of the house. You say, okay, come, I'll give you your due. Any seat I assign to you, you'll take. If you don't, I won't even allow you to sit on the floor. So the political atmosphere in the country today presents a simple and clear scenario. On the cards, there appears to be one party only that's going to win. What that party has to worry about is that even in preparing for that victory, I was governor until yesterday. No. I was chairman of the party until yesterday when you joined our party as governor.
Right.
Having joined the party, you become the head of the party in the state. How do you suppose I'll be feeling? I won't like it. So there are internal wranglings that will yet emerge across the board on APC, as all of this is going on. That's something they need to...
So you shouldn't roll out the drums.
No, don't roll out the drums. Anti-party activity may take place, but if we are to take the reflexes of the party in the last election, how it won that election, how is it held onto power, and now that it has control of state resources and instruments of coercion by law,
imagine.
The capacity they will bring to bear on ensuring that this ticket, not only that it returns, but it doesn't even move around. It just be on the table. People can be talking about it, but they are holding it. But I see a bit of desperation.
On whose part?
On APC's part, and a little carelessness. There's a lot of triumphalism. You never can tell what will puncture all of that while they're celebrating. Because as it is, now, as far as they are concerned, 2027 is given.
It's a done deal.
And that's why there's no governing going on, with all due respect to those who differ. You can talk about reform, but people need to see the result. Budgets are not being released. Allocated funds, the military. Wherever have you
It's interesting you say that, because I was actually going to ask, how costly is this, what is playing out now?
The cost will be, in terms of human resources, patriotism, and belief in Nigeria. These three will be the major casualties. Because remember, we're being told about all the new things being done. As those things are being done, and as we're hearing about it, everybody's getting poorer. Insecurity is galloping.
Yeah.
Yesterday was Kwara, today another, everywhere. And where have you ever heard that a lieutenant colonel, not a major, or also called brigadier, got killed in any internal anything, and the country didn't practically shut down to end it? It happened. So how many have they killed now in the last 3 months? And it's ongoing.
It doesn't count.
And so first, government has lost the capacity to be believed on any of the issues. Assurances, we'll make sure it doesn't happen again. It happens in the evening in another part of the country. Yeah. That's one. Government has lost the capacity to believe. Second, the army is overstretched. Totally overstretched. How many soldiers, how many officers do we have? How many places are these things taking? You say, oh, we set up a new battalion. Battalion is made up of how many people? Are they armed? How much of the budget for 2024, 25, and 26 has been released to them? In the case of 26, I think it's 7%. What are you going to use it to buy a catapult? So you see that the national priorities will suffer because of this concern to win an election. Do we have electricity? No. Do we have security? No. Do we have loyalty to the Nigerian state?
Isn't that the most fundamental question that really should apply to every
single thing?
Every single thing.
Yes, you secure the nation, you provide infrastructure, then you govern.
Yeah.
You don't spend, like all expenditure now is on overhead. How can the expenditure be on consumption? And you hope to pay your children's school fees. You just earn 20 million naira, your children's school fees is 15. You spend the money, you take them to Dubai, you come back, you take them to Silverbird, you buy brand new clothes. That's consumption. They can't become anything except they go to school. And they are not being educated. So the nation's priorities are standing on its head. Unfortunately, those who have something to say and who can do something about it are in cuckoo land, with all due respect.
Yes.
Even on democracy, our democracy is deepening.
It is.
I'll tell you how it is deepening. Government of the people, by the people, for the people. So those who can afford it can collect nomination tickets for 100 million.
Right.
They also have friends plus their own money to spend tens of billions to win the election. And then they will appoint their friends and those who sponsor them as ministers. It is government of the people who have money, by the people who have money, and for the people, because their contracts will also go to their friends. Wow. That is the type of democracy that's deepening. But if you're talking about kind of course democracy? Not, because if you're then talking about the democracy of the people who make up the majority in Nigeria, that is what is not deepening. Instead, that's what's being progressively and conspicuously eroded. Whereby, if you to become a local government chairman now, in some parties, I think it's up to 15 million to get the nomination,
if not more.
Who do you think will have that? Those who can afford those things are also those who have no place in government most of the time. So that's the kind of democracy we are nurturing. Once you've passed through maybe primary school, you're qualified to become a local government chairman. But if you don't have the NYSC certificate, you can't get a job in the Federal Civil Service. So see the quality of human capital we are giving free passage to the highest political platforms, and see those are being shunted and the obstacles being put. You can become anything. You can become an IGP. You don't have to present NYSC certificate, proof of your loyalty to Nigeria. And
forged documents don't matter anymore.
So it's in that sense, and I was being cheeky when I said yes.
Oh, absolutely. I do understand that. So, I mean, is it now reflecting in every aspect of our lives? When you talk about the absence of governance because of too much politicking or politricking, as some would even describe it. Take security, for example. We had a conversation earlier where barely 7% is what is being given to the military, right in the throes of the war against insurgency. Maybe I should bring back that figure again. The NAF, that's the Nigeria Air Force Maintenance figures, 13.98% funding, while the presidential fleet gets 97.76%.
It confirms what I said earlier. the priorities are in the area of consumption. So it's still government of the people who are comfortable, becoming more comfortable. Presidential fleet gets 98. The primary fulcrum of national identity and sovereignty, which is security, is getting 7%. Now, what does that tell you? They are unarmed. They are underarmed. They are vulnerable. Their numbers are not increasing. Their welfare is not improving. And we are assuring, when you assure Nigerians that this will not happen again, the presumption is that there are measures you've taken to ensure that everything that will make it not to happen again is there. It's not. And so turn it around and look again. There was a report of, there's the other riot of women that attacked a checkpoint. Look, some people will look at it and say, you know, the Nigerian army, they're all very responsible. They're aiding and abetting banditry. No. The Nigerian army is an institution.
Right.
Military personnel carry out duties. That's not the army on the road. That's not the instruction of the chief of army staff. That's not the instruction of his garrison commander or GOC, whatever. What is happening is as a failure of the Nigerian state and the condition of everybody, because whether you're wearing uniform or if you remove that uniform, it's just another Nigeria.
Right.
It's such that their material condition is for making them overlook or even subvert their primary sworn duty. The women are rioting. 2 years ago, this was a case at least I knew very well about, because one of those involved was a relation of mine, a lecturer.
Right.
Yes, in one of the universities. Now his colleague was kidnapped. And so they got phone call and all of that. I talked all kinds of money. Eventually they agreed for, it's not a university in Abuja or Lagos. They agreed, I think, for 900,000. Now the wife was to bring 900,000 to a certain junction by 11:30 p.m. when there's no movement in the state.
Right.
And there will be an Okada man there. That's a motorcycle rider who will take him to the checkpoint. It was a military, yes.
To a checkpoint.
To the military checkpoint. Immediately after the checkpoint, that she should disembark, and the Okada man will wait to take her back.
Does it reinforce the allegation by the women?
Not only does it reinforce
collusion on the part
confirmed, and when the fellow got released, he was the one who was talking about the degree of collusion. The fact that he was terrified because they were saying those who were wasting time would be quickly organ harvested. So if her people are not, if his people were not coming there, he's going to move over to the other side. And he was seeing the bodies being cut up. So when that is happening in many places, but that is
Nigeria,
different. Yes, that is different from saying the army is sanctioning it or doing it. You ask yourself, some of these, but I told you the army was overstretched. You are given a posting, you're supposed to go on pass maybe after 3 weeks. Have you not heard of cases where people went to a location, for 3 months they are still there, instead of leaving there after 1 month?
Yeah.
How do you think they'll be
If not
feeling?
even longer.
Exactly. So all of that begins to undermine the original values they swore to when they took the
it's really, apparently what you describe as lack of governance is rubbing off on every aspect, whether it's security you're talking about or even the politics or democracy itself. You have a distrust of the
all the institutions
umpire.
of state.
The electoral empire is not being trusted. The judiciary is not necessarily trusted. So where does that leave us? How can we regain the soul of Nigeria?
The way to regain the soul of Nigeria is for the government to show a new orientation. You see, most of those speaking for the government, quite frankly, except the minister, are busy confounding and annoying Nigerians. If you listen to the Minister of Information, his narrative is, you know, he doesn't go to where it doesn't make sense. But when you have somebody telling you to your face that your life is getting better, I'm telling you, can't you see it? The other day I swept the corridor. You haven't eaten. Did you tell him to sweep the corridor? How does that affect your tummy?
Yeah.
Government has to change its focus. It's not about speech making. There are measures that move. Imagine that we begin from tomorrow to have regular electricity supply, which the government's promised. And then there's a conspicuous drop, significant by more than 50% of insecurity. Then you people, okay, maybe they become. But while all this is going on and you're telling them this, oh no, we're doing very well, is insulting, with all due respect.
It's a good place to live in. Professor Okeke Chukwu, executive